In this video, I'm going to be flashing the car with the Jackal Motorsports tune for the VF Supercharger kit. So something that happened after the install in this video. So what happened is I had to change out the injector. So what came with the kit were 370 if I can remember, cc injectors. And from talking with Jackal Motorsports, they recommended to get the 550 cc injectors. So these are all the Bosch 550 cc injectors, and I will post a link to these injectors. And with that being said, you're gonna need these EV connections so you can connect it to your harness. So all these have, so if you can see, there's that extended little EV connector, so you can connect from the injector to your harness. But alright, so that's just a little bit off topic. So with that being said, so I already have the base tune from Jackal Motorsports. I'm gonna flash the car with that base tune, and with that, I'm not gonna start driving it. I'm gonna actually start the car, and then we're gonna see how it performs, log it when it's in idling, and I'm gonna go through an RPM range from idle to 2,500 RPMs. So the first rev is going to be up to 1,000, then 1,500, 2,000, and 2,500 RPM, just to log how these injectors are working. Then from there, I'm going to send those logs to Jackal Motorsports, and then they're going to see what they have to do, and to see if then they'll give me another tune revision so I can start the car and do some more logs. With that being said, I'm going to be doing different logs, doing different things. One could be, I can be doing a third gear pull, then I can be doing regular driving at cruising speeds. So it's going to be different logs to see how the car performs, and they're going to be giving me different revisions, to calibrate that exactly to make this car perform at its tip-top shape. So I am very excited for this part of the video, and yeah, let's begin. Before I go on, the tune that I'll be using from Jackal Motorsport is not the same tune for the regular B6, B7, S4 tunes like the old setup. I do have the old Jackal Motorsports tune on this car, but it's for the old setup, so not to be confused with that tune will work this exactly for this tune. So you're gonna need a different tune from Jackal Motorsports for the Supercharger kit. So the things you'll need to flash the tune, you're gonna need first, obviously, a laptop if you have one. You need this program. It's called NEF Moto. So this was kind of like an ECU flasher. So they give you the file that you need, and with that file you can flash the car yourself. And then you're gonna need a OBD2 cable, which this is called the VAG KKL 409.1. Just before I move on with this, you're gonna see a whole lot of these different cables on either on Amazon or eBay, and they're not all equally the same. What you need to look for in order for NEF Moto to read this, or for you to flash the car, you gotta make sure that this cable has the FT232R chip, because without it, NEF Moto will not be able to read this. It may work, to diagnose the car, but as far as like NEF Moto goes, it will not be able to read this this cable. So I'm going to post a link of the one that works for me that does have the chip. I'll post that link in the description. And then while we're flashing, the car has to be on auxiliary mode, so that means you're gonna have to connect some sort of power source to the battery. So I'm gonna use some jumper cables right here and connect it to the Q7. While that's running, I'm gonna go ahead and have that connected so I have a source of power to the battery, because the last thing you want to happen to you is while you're in the middle of the flash, the battery just dies out on you, which I don't want that to happen. I've come this far for that to happen. So yeah, alright, let's get started. Alright, so I have the batteries connected. You always do the live connection to the live connection, and then you do your ground connections last, if you don't know that. Alright, so now that we're inside the car, I'm going to turn the car in auxiliary mode. So while it's doing its thing, we're going to go to right here where it says NEF Moto. So first things first, what you want to see is make sure that's reading your cable, because if this is blank, that means the cable that you have doesn't work with Nefmoto, so it doesn't have that FT232R chip that I was talking before. Because what happened with me before is I got another cable before this one that I have right now, and it wasn't reading it. And then when I found out, did some research, the cable that I purchased originally wasn't compatible because it didn't have that chip right there. So learn from my mistake. If you don't see anything from right here or in the drop down menu, it should load automatically, then you're good. But if it's not, then it's more likely you don't have that cable, does not have that chip. So what you're gonna do, first you're gonna do connect slow initiation, which is right here. So it's gonna be connecting to the ECU. It's gonna tell you right here that it's connected. I don't think the camera will pick it up, but it says right there it's connected. So as far as the baud, I think that's how you pronounce it, recommended is 52,800. That's what you want to have selected. And from there, you want to go to where it says KWP 2000 flashing. So this second tab right here. So right here, you are going to have, so right here, this link right here, you're going to choose your file. So this is where you're going to go ahead, and depending on where you have your file saved, you're going to go ahead and select it. So since I already have it selected, there's no point in me reselecting it again. And as far as the memory layout right here, so I'm sorry, this is the tune right here. I'm sorry, I don't think I said that clear. This is the tune. This first one says choose flash file. That is the tune that you'll be running. And then the second one right here is the memory layout. So with that, I'm going to have all these options right here. So what you want to select is the ME7 29F 800BB, which is for me the second one on the bottom. And that's the one you want to use. Alright, so you want to make sure it still says connected. So keep in mind, with this tune, you're going to have to flash it twice, not just once, twice. So the first initial flash is going to be with this right here where it says full right flash. It's going to do its thing up to 100%. You're going to go ahead and disconnect it, so pretty much exit out of here, and then go ahead and don't turn on the car yet because it won't turn on. Go ahead, turn up, open up Nefmoto again, and then go ahead and go to this time to the diff right flash. So this will be that second tune that you got, and it'll be the same tune file. Everything's going to be exactly the same. The only difference this time is going to be the diff right flash, and that's going to be a lot faster than the full right flash. So yeah, so go ahead and but first, you know, going to do the full right flash. It's going to do its thing, and then exit out of it, and then do your diff right flash, exit out of that. Then once you do have the flash already installed in the car, what you're going to do is turn off the car. You're going to wait about 10 seconds, turn it back on again, and again wait for another about 10 seconds, turn it off again, and then this time you can go ahead and turn on the car. Now that I've got the flash on there, the bass tune, I guess the moment of truth is, let's hear a cold start, a true cold start, 'cause it's been a while since I actually turned on this car. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up in the back of the car, and let's hear it purr. Alright, so in order to do the logs, so you can send it off to Jackal Motorsports, I put it in this folder right here. So first they're going to send you the ME7 logger. That's what you're going to be using. You're not going to be using the VCDS to do logs. You'll be using the ME7 logger, and they'll give you the download link to use ME7 logger. So you're going to go ahead and open up that folder, and you're going to open up ME7 logger right here, so which is the ME7 logger.exe right here for me. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. So this is what it's going to look like. So in order to get all this right here, what you want to do is you want to go to File, you want to load the ECU, and that's going to be sent to you. So you're going to go ahead and select it, and the ECU is going to be this right here. For me, this is what it was labeled. This numerization stock.ecu. Since I already have it selected, I'm just going to go ahead, you're just going to hit open. Then it's going to give you all these variables right here. So I'm going to scroll down so you can see all these things for logging, which it won't be, you won't need all of this. So next, what you're going to have to do, again, go to file, you want to load the config file. So what the config file is, it's like a preset in a way where that has already everything that has to be selected. And what that's going to be, it's going to be the same numerization again as the AE09 and so on, and it's going to be a .cfg file. So you're going to have to select that. Since I already have it selected, I'm just going to close that up, but you're going to hit the open for if you're doing this for the first time. And then all of a sudden you're going to see these little check marks here on every other, measuring block that you can get. And that's what Jackal Motorsports wants to see when you're doing logs. Alright, so once you have those two steps done, what you're going to do is, obviously you can do this when the car is running, running. Can't even think right now. So what you're going to do, you want to go down here where it says start log. So depending on what the log is, if you're doing like a cruise, a third gear pull, or shifting from first to third, red all the way to red line, this is where it's going to be the same process. So you can go to the start log, and then you get this screen right here. And then once the car, so here you go, see? So right now you see these things kind of moving. So right now it's already starting to log right now. Then whenever you're done doing whatever you're doing, then you go to this close session. And do you wish to close the session? Yes. So you're gonna exit out of it. You can exit out of this. So you can go. So within that folder, you can go to the folder that's labeled logs. Click on that, and that's gonna be this log right here. So in this, I just did an example right here. So it's going to be the same numerization, the AE09 logging, and that's, the way you can tell is it's going to have the date and the time that you did it. So right now this is just an example. I'm not actually doing a real log, but just so you know what to do. So this file right here, you're going to attach this to the email, send it off to Jackal Motorsports. They're going to look at the logs, they're going to work their magic, and then they'll give you a revised vision tune, and then they'll tell you to do another type of log, and you'll do the same process over again until you get that final tune where everything is right and it's to your liking. So yeah, so it's a little bit of a time process. It's not a not a big problem. It's nice knowing that they are taking the time to make this right for your car, and that to me means a lot. So, and if anybody knows Jackal Motorsports, they know that communication, customer support is very important, which is something I appreciate, and I think any business is just successful because of that. So kudos to them. And yeah, so that's how you do the logs. That is pretty much all you really have to do when it comes to flashing the car with the new updated tune using Nefmoto, and then for doing logs, I'm using ME7 Logger. In total, there were 7 revision tunes to finally get to where it is right now. So again, like the first set of tunes was kind of much to see what the car is doing, how it's behaving and whatnot. And then as it progressed all the way to the 7th revision, it was just pretty much just now fine calibrating here and there, changing this and that. So this is pretty much just, like I said before, just a brief overview on how to flash the car, do some logs. And the next video that I'm planning on doing is going to be the really fun stuff. I'm sure the one that everybody wants to, really see is, how the car performs, So I'm going to obviously do some drive-bys, see, what the car sounds like and whatnot. And also I'm going to do some interior sounds, what it sounds like in the cabin. And I'm going to do some pop and bangs, because I did get the 2-step and the crackle. So that's really cool. I actually did it not too long ago, and it sounds amazing. So I'm actually pretty excited to finally record that. But yeah, just will be just an overall review of so far the tune itself, how it's been handling. One thing I want to say before moving on, that VF engineering requires about 300 miles to break in the supercharger, and those 300 miles should mostly be all easy driving, not flooring it or taking it to the racetrack or dragging it or whatever it is. An easy 300 miles just to break in the supercharger. So yeah, so I still have, you know, a little bit more. I still have about 250 miles still left to break it in, so I still got a little while. The way that I drive this car, it's not every day, it's not my daily, so I still take me a while to get to 300 miles, believe it or not. And with work and life, it's just, you know, it's hard to get this car to drive, but when I do drive it, it's a whole different car. I'm so excited that I finally got this installed and it's working, everything's doing what it should be doing. So yeah, so I'll stop talking. That'll be the end of this video, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.